Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mexican Conservative. I'm your host, the Mexican Conservative. I've been on hiatus for a long time due to, let's just say, a lot of Facebooking. I had a page on Facebook, YouTube channel, and an Anchor podcast, and let's just say that didn't work out so well. So I'm back today because there's something big that has come up that I wanted to discuss and make sure that I at least had an opinion on. And that is the Daily Wire versus Louder with Crowder situation. Now, as many people in the conservative sphere might know, Crowder ousted, or didn't oust actually, the Daily Wire for predatory business practices. Now, I've watched all the videos, I've looked over the contract, I've looked over everything that was submitted. And I can tell you right now, I am on the side of Steven Crowder. And there's going to be some biases, I'm going to say, in my opinions, but guess what? That's just the way it is. After Crowder came out with his first video, he made it clear that he wasn't trying to name names, he wasn't trying to point anybody out, he wasn't trying to bring it to the forefront because he didn't want to oust people that he considered his friends. And what happened is that Daily Wire ousted themselves. They decided that they were going to try to get ahead of the wave and come out and say, yep, it was us. We did it. This is our contract. And look, we're going to prove to you that it's not as bad as Crowder says it is. Daily Wire then released a 30-minute, hour-long video. It was stupidly long, where they went over each aspect of the contract. And it did not do them any favors. I can tell you right now, just from listening to the stuff that they listed, it's the most insulting contract that I've ever heard of. It basically says, we own you, we own everything that you own, and we will continue to own everything that you own until we see fit to release it back to you and or release you from this contract. And that is the most disgusting thing you can possibly do. As far as I knew of Daily Wire and Crowder, they were on very good terms. They liked each other. They helped each other in the beginning stages of their businesses. They worked with each other on things. And then to come to find out that Crowder leaves the Blaze, tells everybody he's leaving the Blaze, goes to Daily Wire and says, hey, you guys want to make an offer or something? I want to come work with you guys. Let's see where we can take this thing. And they go, sure. And these good buddies and these good friends, and then they offer him a contract that would basically, as was put by Jeremy of Daily Wire, a wage slave. Now, a lot of people have been bringing up the fact that, Crowder was going to get $50 million. Well, that $50 million that he was going to get also had to pay for all of his production costs. So let's break it down. Over the course of 4 years, each year, Crowder would get $12.5 million. Out of this $12.5 million, he has to pay for his studio, pay for insurances, pay for his employees, pay for skits, pay for all of his equipment. So, once you break it down in terms of the cost throughout the entire year to pay everybody, to pay for all the insurance, to pay for all the equipment, to pay for all of his own production costs, Steven Crowder's not walking away with $12.5 million. That's just the simplest way to put it. He has to pay for everything out of that $50 million. He is paying himself, his employees, which he has about to have 30 employees. So let's say each one of those employees makes $50,000 a year. Well, take 50,000 times 30. What's that? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people are coming out saying he's getting basketball money. It's like, that's insane. He's not getting basketball money. Just the cost of paying his employees a year. If they each make $50,000 a year, which is a good wage, that's $1.5 million out of that $12.5 million he's going to get for the year just for the employees. That's not including paying for the space, paying for the bills for the electricity, gas, whatever other costs there are that are associated with running the equipment there. I'm assuming he has servers that he has to pay for in order to run his content off of. There's all these things that people aren't taking into account when they talk about, he's getting basketball money. So he's not getting basketball money. He's not. It's just that simple. That was probably the most egregious thing that I took away from a lot of people's talk about this subject. The man's not walking away, on his way to go buy a Bentley. Okay? He's on his way to go get a Tesla, a second one, because that's what he can afford. So at the end of this, the Daily Wire video, they're trying to sit there and say this was a good contract, good deal, good this, good that. But what they neglect to tell you is that they will own all of his merchandise, they own all of his videos, they'll be getting all the revenue from those things. They'll also be getting all the revenue from all the videos that he does up until he leaves. And the potential revenue that they could earn in a single year off of his content is anywhere from 25 to 30 million, I believe was the range that I heard quoted on by some people, 25 to 30 million dollars. So they're going to pay him $12.5 million each year for 4 years, and they could rake in $30 million off of his content. So all this type of stuff is going on. And so let's see, over the course of 4 years, if they make $30 million a year off of his content, that's $120 million in revenue that they've generated off of him by only paying him $50 million and then making $70 million in profit. Then they're also in the contract is basically they're forcing him to do everything that he doesn't want to do. He has to do all these ads for them. He has to do all these videos for them. He's obligated. It's not even a choice. It was an obligation. It was in the contract. You have to. There is not a choice. And the next thing on the list is penalizations. They're going to treat him the same way as if YouTube is his boss, which is exactly what he's trying to get away from, which is what everybody's trying to get away from at this point, is not having the overlord of YouTube sitting there and telling you what you can and cannot do. And that's what they were doing. They're saying, well, if you get demonetized on YouTube, well, we're going to hit you with a $100,000 fine and take away $100,000 of your budget for the year. That doesn't make any sense. A lot of people go, oh, that would make sense. If he's not making money, why should they pay him? It's because when you enter into a business contract, let's say I work at a job, a 9 to 5, and I get a wage every single day, right? So they pay me $10 an hour to be there for 8 hours out of the day. I'm going to be there those 8 hours. Now, if the business makes money, that's not my concern. They're paying me to be there, do my job, and to do it properly, and then go home. They incur the risks of their business not making money. It's not that I'm not making them money. It's the simple fact that they took the risk and they paid me and they're offering me a job. Daily Wire offered him a job. They offered him an agreement and said, here's $50 million. You don't just get to go, oh, well, if we have a bad day, or if you have a bad day, or if YouTube decides to be a turd and demonetize you, or Facebook takes your videos down, we're just going to take some of your money away. That's not how reality works. And they're trying to claim that this is a standard contract that everybody in Hollywood does. Well, if everyone in Hollywood does it, then you shouldn't be doing it. The whole point of the conservative movement on these social media platforms is to separate ourselves from big tech, the big media, the way they do things in Hollywood. And if you're just going to take a carbon copy of that and do that so you can make money, then there's something wrong. You're not actually part of the movement. You're just pretending to be there so you can get rich. And that's what I feel like everybody at the Daily Wire is doing at this point. Ben Shapiro's not concerned about the movement. The man's just concerned about making money and raking in money off of all the people that work for him. He's a part owner. He's a founder. That's all he cares about. At the end of the day, keeping those big fat paychecks coming in. He's not caring about what's going to happen to everybody else. They made that clear. When Ben Shapiro put out his video, Steven Crowder put out a video complimenting him, saying, hey, I still consider these people my friends. They're good people. They're this, they're that. He likes them. Ben Shapiro comes out and puts out a nasty attack video, tearing Steven down and trying to go after him after Steven exposed them for predatory business practices. Does that sound like a person who's concerned about the business, concerned about you or me? No. They're concerned about the paychecks. They're concerned about the backlash this could have on their business, and that they could lose revenue and they can't afford, their $1 million homes and their Bentley cars. That's what he's concerned about. Then Candace Owens. Oh my gosh. I used to like Candace Owens until she got involved in this. And you can tell that Candace Owens has become the Daily Wire's attack dog. Like, they just let her off the leash and she just, foams at the mouth and goes after people. She made a video on her channel just going after Crowder, saying mean, nasty things about him, things that I just don't want to repeat because it's just insulting. That's all she did. And then she went on the Tim Pool, Timcast IRL with Tim Pool and basically repeated the same things, got even nastier, started making wild accusations, started saying that Crowder was coming after her, involved her in this, and that she has bad blood towards him, and that where's not gay Jared, and she's trying to dig up and throw as much shade, as much dirt, and as much stuff as possible because that's all she's got. She's just their mean little attack dog that they unleash, they go after people, they chew them up, spit them out, and tear them down. And it's sad. It's sad. They got exposed for doing wrong, but they're trying to play the victim. I agree with certain people on this that the Daily Wire is using leftist tactics of shout them down and don't listen. They're literally trying to shout everything that Steven Crowder has said down by saying, oh, he was just in it for the money. Oh, he's just this. He's greedy. He's this. He wanted 120, 140 million, 150 million dollars. And they're doing everything to disregard what he exposed, because what he exposed is their predatory business practices, where they're taking advantage of people, using people, and attempting to pass it off as this is the norm. This is how the world works. And it's not how the world works, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that right now. There's nothing about this that says this is how it works. So I just wanted to get my 2 cents in on that. I wanted to bring it to people's attention. I know that it's already brought to many people's attention, but I wanted to get my 2 cents in. I'm firmly in the camp of Steven Crowder. I know that some people are in the camp of Daily Wire, thinking that they're justified because of the recording, but he basically Project Veritas them. They did something bad, he recorded them, exposed them for it, and now they're the victim? I don't think so. I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. I do not think for 1 second that, the Daily Wire is any kind of victim. They have millions of dollars, they have rich backers. Let's just not pretend like there's, like a puppy with a broken foot. Okay? They're not. They're the Hollywood conglomerate in the conservative space. Okay? I mean, they prove that. Did you see their offices in that video with Jeremy? Good Lord. Those don't look like the offices of some conservative thing. They look like some kind of millennial YouTube offices that they got out there. I don't know. They are just, everything about this feels wrong, and everything that they're doing feels wrong. So, Crowder, if you hear this, I support you. I support you 100%. I hope you win your battle against them. And if you decide to open up your own service, hey, I'll put my application in. I'll try to get on that. Why not? Get on the ground floor of something cool? I'd do it. I mean, who wouldn't do it? Try to be a part of something that's actually real and not fake. And it's not going to treat you like garbage like most of the social media platforms do. But to each their own, I guess. So thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope at some point that I'll be making more of these. I plan to try to at least release one of my podcasts or one of these little talks every week, and we can go from there. But this is just the starting point. I hope to do a lot more and to bring more of this to everybody in the future. Stay safe out there.